I have an idea of perfection. The perfect swing of the club or bat, the perfect form on the free throw line, that perfectly placed spiral football, and especially those perfect grill marks on a high-quality cut of locally sourced prime beef. It takes lots of time to perfect quality, but a quick, simple call or message to Tucker Family Beef can put locally born, raised, fed, and processed beef in your family's freezer so you can practice and perfect those satisfying grill marks. Give Monty Tucker a call at Tucker Family Beef, 580-515-4477.
If you build it, he will.
It's the Skinny on Sports Podcast with Aaron Cowk.
I throw balls far. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Cowk with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
And a good Wednesday morning out there, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. It's a Tucker Family Beef Wednesday. I'm going to switch mine up a little bit, Jared. I don't really have a beef of the week.
Okay.
I have got something that pleases me greatly. And so instead of being kind of put out by something this week,
Okay.
I've got something that USA. And it doesn't have anything to do with the World Baseball Classic, although that was awesome. We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
At the end of the show, NCAA tournament talk. We'll kind of start to get geared up for tomorrow, Sweet 16 action. I've got two trivia questions that all kind of come around the same thing. You want me to ask them now?
Yeah, ask them now.
I think the first,
and then we'll let our listeners chime in.
Chime
too, if they
in
have
on
an
the
answer.
text line.
There's no prize involved, just pride.
No,
but
just
yeah.
prove to us you're smart
There you go.
or not. Whichever way you want to go here with your ansers.
I was always that kid in school. I didn't care if it was right or wrong. I was trying.
You're
to,
firing
I was
out
like,
your answer?
They're like wrong. Dang it. Okay.
Are you? Do you ever watch like the funny clips of Family Feud?
Yeah, sometimes I'll catch
Steve
them.
Harvey, especially when he's the host.
Yeah.
And were you the kid like when they're first of each round and they have, when he says about 3 words and somebody buzzes and they have no idea what the question is?
I don't think I was that eager.
Does anybody know?
to
Oh
answer.
yes, yeah, I know.
I don't think I was that eager.
Okay.
But if I think I know that answer, I would raise my hand and.
Okay, so the first one I think is going to be easier than the second, but it all kind of has to stem with something that happened, yesterday, or maybe the day before.
All right.
Can you tell me? Question number 1: who are the 2 coaches in NCAA basketball history, men's basketball history, to take 3 teams to a Final Four?
2 coaches.
2 coaches
3 teams.
have taken 3 teams to a Final Four. That is question number 1.
Okay.
Question number 2. Can you tell me the one team, and I'm going to call this Power 6 because in basketball, obviously the Big East is a power school, right? So question number 2, can you tell me the one team in Power 6 basketball history to never win an NCAA tournament game?
Ah, man,
There is one.
Their answer was easy.
Because there's a group of schools that have a long drought of winning a tournament game. One of those is topical because of the answer to the first question. They're in this list of like the 4 longest droughts.
That's never won.
No. There's just one that's never won one.
One that's never won.
There's
an
one that's
NCAA
never won an
tournament
NCAA
game.
tournament game. There's one Power 6 school that's never won one. But there's 4 on a list I saw that had these long droughts. And like one of them was like 2004, 2002, 99, and then never.
Wow.
On the other.
Wow.
So who is the one team
that one's gonna be tough.
in the Power 6 that has never won an NCAA tournament game?
That's gonna be tough.
That's your homework. Now, don't be looking it up. I mean, I guess you can, but
I'm not looking.
See if anybody knows those questions. Get you fired up for jonesing for Johnny's later on.
There you go.
If somebody wants to answer.
There you go.
So NCAA tournament, I want you to rank the 16 teams left. Hopefully you opened up your email before just now.
Already done, buddy.
Good. Also, ratings are up. I'll tell you kind of some of that stuff, which goes against what I would think. But let's see what happens this week.
I credit Lily off of AT&T commercials.
We'll see what happens this week with those ratings, though, because of what's missing in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I see
name
where
brand
you're
wise. Tucker Family Beef of the week, as I mentioned, I've got actually a good one instead of just hammering something. Thunder last night, awesome. Win the first game of that 4-game road swing, 7th out west. Look up; they're just a loss behind the Clips, who they'll play on Thursday. It'll be interesting to see who's on the floor that night, on both sides. But we'll talk. With Shea and obviously Paul George.
Pray for Paul George. My goodness.
We saw Lou Dort's value obviously there toward the end. We also saw the shortcomings of Lou Dort throughout the game. Have you heard his nickname?
No.
It is awesome. It's one of the best nicknames, like nowadays.
Uh-huh.
Now it's like KD. Oh yeah, that's his initials.
Well, yeah.
A lot of people wanted. No, his nickname is awesome. I'd never heard this till last night. I'll tell you what that is. Is Jalen Williams the Rookie of the Year? I don't. My question isn't is he going to win it, but is he the Rookie of the Year?
I see.
And then did you see what Chet said?
No.
Oh, good. We're going to have a lot of fun with the Thunder stuff. World Baseball Classic right off the top of the show. Here's a question. This was the best event in professional baseball since. Okay?
Answers are going to vary.
Vary. I think so, too. Shohei Ohtani is open-ended. And then how can Major League Baseball capitalize off the momentum that was just created by this? And I put any chance they will because I don't think either one of us believes they'll do it. So that's kind of what we got on the show today. 225-9698 is the phone or the text line. That's 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. Just a second. I'm sorry, that kind of threw me off. 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about any of those things. Whatever else might be on your mind, feel free to chime in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area, a couple of ways to stay in touch with the show. One of those is to log on to kadsam.com. The other, download the app. The app's got it all. It's got the Penny News. It's got radio. It's got Big Elk and Paragon TV. Oh, Sam is so close.
You know what? I'm not looking at the text line right now because
Sam got the team.
I want to.
Sam got one of the two coaches, but not the other. 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area, stay in touch with us there. Penny News is brand new on the website, thepennynews.com. Big Elk and Paragon TV in there when we got stuff rolling at the high school sports. And then also the Skinny on Sports podcast, iTunes. Now. Are you comfortable we can say iTunes again?
Yeah.
All right. iTunes, subscribe, and then it'll alert you. I saw it popped up on my phone.
Did they all pop up at once, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
We had some kind of clog in the pipes.
But also kadsam.com as well. You can find the show if you miss it entirely. Hello, Jared. How are you this morning?
Very well. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. I'm absolutely wonderful. Man, what an exciting night it was last night. And to be able to say that, you know what? I hope Scott's listening, obviously, because we love Scotty G. But I'm almost embarrassed to say what I'm about to say with the battles we've had through the years of baseball versus soccer. You know what kind of made that event? The crowd reminded me of a soccer crowd.
A little bit. The international feel, you could hear the
blowing the horns
and
the chants.
And if you think about it, I know soccer, there's always something happening. There's a constant movement. And they describe baseball as a slow game. Soccer can be described as a slow game, especially if you have scores that are like 1-0 or 2-1, right? And you hear those chants happening at soccer matches. Kind of had that same feeling last night. Yeah, I can see that. But it was fun. I feel like I need to open the text line. Is there comments about last night's games or the trivia questions?
Trivia questions.
Oh. I'm not doing it because I don't want. I got my answers. And I'm
all
waiting.
of them. Okay. So you've got Sam got the team and one of the two coaches. Dakota got one of the two coaches, but they combine them and they. Actually, no, that's not right. Wait a minute. Let me look back. Yeah, no, there's still one coach that hasn't been named. They both got one of them. So last night, or I guess just the all-encompassing of the event. Best event in pro baseball since what, in your opinion?
Okay, because I like the sport. I'll just go back to the last major event, which was the World Series. I don't care who's in the World Series. I watch it. That's my answer. I know a lot of people say, "Oh no, it's boring every year." But because I'm a purist and I like the game and the sport, that's what I'll go back to. Now, someone might say until the previous World Baseball Classic, where U.S. won it, but I don't recall it being that dramatic.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
This is the first time, in my opinion, that the World Baseball Classic has been on center stage of sports.
Yeah.
Where it's made a dent.
Right. It's valuable now. You're going to see other networks, and I don't know what the TV deals are, how they're worked out for it, but you're going to see everyone go, you know what? We want a piece of that pie. We want in on that. So I don't know how long Fox has it. Fox should have put it on Big Fox last night, in my opinion. But then others are going to say, those novice fans go, well, that was the best thing since 98, the summer of 98, the race for the home run race.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. Or when their respective team won a World Series, But for me, because I pay attention and I get excited for October, and I like the accumulation of it being in the World Series, that for me, that was the best thing since. But I know answers will vary. How about you? What was the best thing since when?
The first Field of Dreams.
Oh, that's a good one.
Since the first one of those.
Yeah, that's a real good one.
Okay, just a second. Repeat the question. Okay, we have two trivia questions. One is, name me the two coaches that have taken three different teams to the Final Four. The second one is, what is the only Power 6 school that's never won an NCAA tournament game? Those are the two trivia questions that we're looking for the answers. We're close to getting it all, but we haven't quite got there yet. For me, it was that first Field of Dreams game because there was some novelty to it. But it also, you know what was cool about last night?
What's that?
You got to see contrasting styles of baseball. You got to see the new age, which was the Americans, trying to win the game by hitting home runs and striking out or not completing fundamental plays in the game of baseball, versus the Japanese team, who, one, had incredible pitching, but also they played the game of baseball the way I wish it was still played and taught. Moving runners, bunting over, just more of the fundamental to it. Because, the U.S. gets first and second, nobody out in the sixth inning, and nobody ever moves.
Right.
And then Schwarber hit the home run, Trey Turner walks, runner on first, one out, down one in the top of the eighth. Realmuto swings at the first pitch. Mullins swings at the second pitch. They don't even give the fastest guy outside of the Japanese guy, the fastest guy basically on the American. They don't even give Trey Turner a chance to steal second and be in scoring position with one out. They don't even give him a chance. First and second, I get it. It's Mike Trout at the plate. First and second, and he did go to the right side, but he just hit a little pop-up into right field. The fundamentals of the game of baseball were so much more on display with the way the Japanese played versus the way, it was just like new age versus old school in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
And old school won. Because at the end of the day, that old adage is still true in baseball. I don't care what you say. Great pitching beats great hitting a majority of the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, what is Shohei Ohtani?
Oh, he's all generational type player. That term was thrown around last night, right? Once in a lifetime type player.
Okay,
I'm not seeing, because you're not seeing a guy that can go out there and produce at the plate and then take the bump and do what he does, throwing 100+ miles per hour, crazy, with a wide selection of pitches that he has in his arsenal. You know, who does that? Who's the last time someone's done that? We're thinking lifetimes ago.
Babe
Ruth? Lifetimes ago. That's Ohtani.
Okay, so last night, he hit a ball over 114 miles an hour at the plate. He threw one over 101 miles an hour. And you know what people don't realize, and you kind of forget, it's easy to forget, that dude can fly.
Yeah, he's fast.
And he's bigger than a lot of the Japanese guys you've seen, or he looks bigger, feels bigger. Ohtani is, when I say what is Ohtani, to me Ohtani is the modern-day Babe Ruth. And here's what's crazy. Babe Ruth only did it 2 years way back then. He's already done it 3. With no signs of slowing down. Ding, 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 ding. Sam has now gotten all the answers right.
Good for Sam.
Do you realize at the end of that game, I saw this last night after it happened, how hard it was to do what he did to Mike Trout?
What, strike him out?
Striking him out when, okay, so, all right, stay with me here. In Mike Trout's Major League Baseball career, he has 6,174 plate appearances. He has only struck out swinging 3 times. 24 times.
Oh, my goodness.
Taken 3 swings and struck out 24 out of 6,174 plate appearances in his career, in his Major League Baseball career.
Wow.
And he did that to end it last night.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, what you couldn't have even wrote, or I guess it should be written. You couldn't have even written a movie that ends that way last night.
No.
With those two going at it in the last at bat of what was just an awesome event. And it was just Ohtani, if he wasn't already, which I don't think he was because it's baseball, but he took a step toward an international super duper star last night. Now, here's the question. Will Major League Baseball capitalize off this opportunity? Will they realize it's time to start showcasing these guys, which then lead fans to watch those guys, which then lead new fans to wanting to root for a team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what this is? Baseball at this point has a chance to kind of reinvent the NBA model from the 80s. Market your sport after stars, not necessarily teams. Not necessarily even your sport.
Well,
Magic and Larry.
Let's say this. Let me interject. Was it really the NBA that should get credit for that? Or was it the marketing team, say at, I don't know, Nike with the Air Jordan?
Well, once
There's
you got
a great movie about to come out. I can't wait to see it.
But it was already set in place with Magic and Larry.
Yeah.
And here's the what am I trying to say? The symbolism back towards that is, what did the NBA had something that wasn't theirs, but it was a way to begin the showcase of those two. Mm-hmm. And it was the 1979 men's basketball championship game between Indiana State and Michigan State, between Magic and Larry. So they had this event that happened before they even had these guys in their league. But they were smart enough to recognize these guys,
right,
and what they could mean to the league. And they took full advantage of it. And it just so happened that those two ended up being on separate coasts, meeting later. The difference here is these two guys are on the same team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hope Ohtani goes to maybe the Dodgers
and
get
that's
a World Series between these two guys.
But at least here's what's crazy. They've been teammates for 3 years, and by far the most important at-bat or pitch either one of them has either stood there and swung at or thrown was last night.
Yeah, not in an Angels uniform.
No. But they have a chance to use this and kind of brand it in a certain way that can maybe get the hip. Because here's the thing about Ohtani, he seems pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Now the language barrier is going to be one of. You know what I mean? That's a little bit of a struggle. Because even in the post game interview, it's like, golly,
you have to.
You wish you kind of could speak, but at the same time, though, he's just magnetic. Like when you watched him, you wanted as much as USA. He just seemed so cool and genuine that you like. Or at least me, it's like, he's so amazing.
Yeah,
like it didn't really bother me that Japan won, and that he struck out Trout. Look at it. He was like a once in a couple of generations type dude.
It's when you get to that championship game at any sport and you are happy that it's the two best teams remaining, and then you are happy that you didn't get a dud of a game, that you saw that these were the two best teams on the court or field. And last night was a fine example of that. They were the two best teams in the world. Either team could have won. They both had chances to win. Japan happened to take the W.
Okay, so how can it be even better?
The World Baseball Classic?
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe spread it. Maybe, I don't know, make it longer. You could really dilute it if you do that. I think the 2 weeks is perfect for it. Maybe spread it out into more cities where more fans other than fans in Phoenix and Miami have an opportunity to see it. But I get that's strategic too, because you can get that international crowd to get to.
Well, in the Latin,
for them to get exactly
the Latin part
exactly. Of it. But maybe think of Houston or Arlington, or San Diego. Did they not play some there? I can't remember.
Maybe in the past,
could we see it in? Is it too early in the year to have it in Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
You know what I mean? I'm spitballing here.
Yeah.
But stuff like that, just more access for more opportunities for fans to see this thing in person. So that'd be, but like I said, if you make it longer, it's like, God Lord, this thing's still happening. Kind of like the World Cup for me is like, good man, this takes a month to play. I think the timing's perfect for it right before the season. They're trying, kind of answers your question. They're trying to use that as a springboard into the Major League Baseball season. You saw every commercial break. April 1st is going to start. So, but I guess that's the only thing is to make it better. Maybe spread it out between more cities.
As a big bad American, I wish the clubs, and my buddy and I were talking about this last night, and he said, think about how cool this would be. I wish the clubs would let the big arms throw.
Yeah.
I get why not, but that's the one thing lacking is the big time arms. Right. Even Trout's already committed to 2026 after last time. He's already in for the next one.
That's awesome.
But it was a great event. Kudos. Now baseball, figure it out and keep it going. Keep this going into the regular season, and then, as you said, the World Series. Then all of a sudden, it's not just a footnote to college football season. It's not just a footnote to NFL. It's actually something people want to watch. And I'll go back to this, and I'll continue to hit it. This all happened, and it was exciting and fun, and it all happened without dudes having to sprint
to
the box and on the – it didn't have any of those rules.
No.
Oh, by the way, guess what else was there? The shift.
Yeah, that was cool.
And it didn't ruin anything.
And Ohtani still outran in the shift.
Yeah, I know. That's what's crazy. By the way.
Drop this. That's my answer here. You said, how can they capitalize? I said, drop the stinking rules. I said it yesterday. Flex the big-time games to Saturday night, Sunday night. Give me a reason to watch.
Yep.
And what was really cool, and first time I ever noticed this and I saw it during the semifinals and last night, not even just a big at-bat, it's 0-2 with 2 outs, runners on. You'd hear something this music. I'm like, is that on the TV or is that it was in the stadium? Like this dramatic music kind of set in. It got my heart going a little bit. I thought that was it created that drama not only in the stadium but in my home. Just there's little nuances like that, little tweaks like that. But yeah, I think number one thing: drop the stinking rules.
Here's how it sounded on Japanese TV.
Oh boy.
If any of those were cuss words, we're sorry, FCC.
Oromagoto, Mr. Roboto.
You can hear him go, Otani-san and sayonara. Awesome stuff.
That was a fun game.
Finally.
Fun game.
Now, baseball, capitalize.
Yes.
Don't let us be griping in 3 months about how you didn't do any good because of this. We'll be back with the Tucker Family Beef of the Week. I have an idea of perfection. The perfect swing of the club or bat, the perfect form on the free throw line, that perfectly placed spiral football, and especially those perfect grill marks on a high-quality cut of locally sourced prime beef. It takes lots of time to perfect quality, but a quick, simple call or message to Tucker Family Beef can put locally born, raised, fed, and processed beef in your family's freezer so you can practice and perfect those satisfying grill marks. Give Monty Tucker a call at Tucker Family Beef, 580-515-4477.
The Skinny on Sports.
But is having this minor skill worth being so unattractive? That's for the fan to decide. Yay!
Welcome back. Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the sports animal.
Should we answer the questions now?
We'll answer the questions in the next segment. Once again, the trivia questions are 2 of them. Give me the 2 coaches that have taken 3 teams to a Final Four.
2 coaches?
2 coaches
teams.
have taken 3 teams to a Final Four. 2 coaches, 3 teams, Final Four. And then the other question was, who is the only Power 6 school, Power 6 being the 5 you're used to in football, and then also the Big East in basketball. Who is the only Power 6 school to never win an NCAA tournament game? This all goes back to
That's a lot of teams.
relevancy.
A lot of schools.
So who was the only one?
Ugh.
Time now, Jared,
Getting
for
busy.
our weekly visit to Sunny Point, Oklahoma, and the Tucker Family Beef of the Week. What is Tucker Family Beef, you might be asking yourself? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It is locally born, locally raised, locally fed, and locally processed prime American beef. Monty, Tommy, Nelda, Danielle, all the folks at Tucker Family Beef. It's great stuff. I know this because I have it in my own freezer as we speak. We actually had a roast last night, made some tacos out of a roast. Ooh. It was just off the chart. We ate the whole thing. There's barely any left.
Well, I'd imagine.
Like a 5-pound roast. Gone, devoured by just 3 human beings. It was delicious. There's a couple of ways.
One of them is a growing boy. I mean, he's probably eating for 2.
He went with 3 tacos last night.
Yes.
3 full-size tacos. We call those Cliffords in our house when you can barely get your mouth around them, because that's the way my grandpa, Clifford, made stuff, where you couldn't fit it in your mouth. There are 3.
Didn't know where you're going there.
Yeah, Cliffords. There are 3 different options to purchase Tucker Family Beef. One of those is individually. It's just like anywhere else. You can buy a steak. You can buy some ground beef. You can buy a roast. You can buy a brisket. You can buy anything individually because they are USDA approved to do such things. A lot of places aren't that do what they do, but they are. So you can literally buy a ribeye if you want to buy one. You can also buy bundles, which is combinations of different cuts from hamburgers and some steaks, or some roast and some chicken fries. There's 3 different bundles there. Or you can buy beef bulk, which is quarters, halves, or wholes. Monty's sold out through March, but he's got some available in April and some more coming in May. How do you do this? Well, I'll tell you what I'd do. If I were you, I would check out their website at tuckerfamilybeef.com. You could shop there if you like what you see, and trust me, you're going to like what you see. But you know what you're going to like even better than seeing it on the website?
Eating it?
Tasting it.
Yeah.
When you put it into your mouth. It's delicious.
Right.
Give Monty a call, 580-374-5444. Visit tuckerfamilybeef.com website, or they've also got a Facebook page at Tucker Family Beef. What is your Tucker Family Beef of the Week this week, Jared?
It's not as controversial as last week, but there's a great article that I came across yesterday on ESPN, of all places, kind of answering the questions of what's going on with Bally Sports. They've filed for bankruptcy, and as you know...
Hey, wait. What is Bally Sports?
Bally Sports was, if you remember the regional Fox Sports, like Fox Sports Oklahoma, Southwest...
You mean the place we used to get to watch the Thunder games?
Right, and then they jacked up the prices and all this stuff. And then Bally Sports, or actually it's RSN, better known as Bally Sports, bought out Fox Sports, or bought those regional channels I'm talking about, and they continue to broadcast those local markets. In fact, I think there are 16 teams that in Major League Baseball, and I don't know how many in basketball, roughly about the same, that are exclusive on there. And you had to pay a little, and then there's always a dispute. Like, okay, Dish didn't want to do it because they didn't like to have to pay the price that they were asking for. It went to Hulu TV for a little bit, that's why main reason I switched to Hulu TV, save me a little money, and get back my Thunder and Texas Rangers. And then COVID hit. And then the deal fell through when they started playing again, and I never got to watch them again. You can't find them. And then they went to a subscription-only thing, but you were paying $20 a month, just to have these games, this Bally Sports. And it was clear why they were charging that high, because they had a lot of debt to fulfill, and they couldn't, and they filed for bankruptcy. Now they're about to go away. And again, there's a good article of what does that mean for the availability to watch these games. I suggest you go and look at it, and just click on the MLB tab and you'll find it. But my beef is I'm tired of the blackouts, the local blackouts, because even if I wanted to watch the Texas Rangers, I thought, okay, I was going to subscribe for the entire season of MLB TV, but it still wouldn't let me watch the Texas Rangers because we're in the Rangers market. Did you know that? We're in the Western Oklahoma, and we're in the Texas Rangers market. Would have thought maybe Denver, but a little less controversial, but I'm tired of it. Local teams should be accessed by local fans, simply put. I shouldn't have to wait for a game of the week scenario or it to be flexed on NBA TV like the Thunder will be on Thursday night. Local teams should have access to local towns should have access to their local teams.
Makes perfect sense. How else do you grow the fan base? Baseball?
Yes. Imagine, if you will, hey, we're going to broadcast the Big Elk football game tonight, but if you're in Elk City, you can't watch.
Right. That's exactly what they're doing. But even
is so asinine.
Even then, guess what? None of Western Oklahoma can, if it's coming all the way here from the Metroplex.
Right. So it's stupid, and I think and I hope by what this means, because the MLB has said we're willing to step up and take over the broadcasting responsibilities of those 16 teams if Bally Sports when really they go away. And they have hinted that we'll put them all on MLB TV and knock out the blackout. And if that happens, sign me up. I'll get MLB TV where I can watch my Texas Rangers whenever I want and not have to maybe illegally do it. But come on, man. Let's do away with the blackout stuff. And you're right. This would help the image, anyways, of MLB if you make it more accessible to their fans.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree. It's ridiculous.
Now, you don't have a beef.
I don't have a beef. I have a praise.
I like it. Okay.
Does
Tucker family
a Tucker family beef praise of the week? And I'm going to pray. This is something that you don't hear much around this country right now.
Around these parts.
I'm going to praise the law and the court system.
Oh, okay.
Does the name Joseph Kennedy ring a bell? I'm not talking about JFK's dad.
I was going to say Kennedy. No.
Does the name Joseph Kennedy, Bremerton High School in Washington, ring a bell at all?
No. I'm sure it should, but it doesn't.
So in 2008, a guy named Joseph Kennedy started coaching high school football at Bremerton High School.
Okay, yes. Now it does.
As he got going, he started on his own, just heading to the 50-yard line and saying a prayer after every game. He wasn't making anybody go with him. It was just his way. As he said, it was my covenant between me and God that after every game, win or lose, I'm going to go play. I'm going to go pray right there on the field of battle. So he started doing it all by himself.
Didn't make anybody run laps
no,
or do setups
nothing.
if they didn't do it with them. Didn't kick anybody off a team. This was his own deal.
It was his own thing.
Okay.
Then players started choosing to participate with him, choosing to meet him at the 50-yard line to pray after the game. Well, in 2015, the school district saw this becoming a thing, a bigger and badder and awesomer thing to pray after a game, and they suspended him.
Right, I remember this.
And so then Kennedy sues the school district. The case makes it all the way to the Supreme Court. Last June, the Supreme Court issued a split decision, but it cited that Kennedy had the right to practice his religion. Yesterday, two things happened. Or I guess last week, actually, and then the settlement was announced. Last week, the Bremerton School Board voted unanimously to bring Kennedy back as a football coach.
Oh, wow.
So he will be an assistant coach at Bremerton High for the 2023 season. But also, he was awarded $1.7 million in a settlement.
Well, for his time off, right? I mean, he had to get compensated and
Boy, if
then
that's true,
some,
if that's
and
true,
then
I know a whole
some.
bunch of teachers thinking I need to coach at Bremerton High. But anyways,
Yeah, it feels like
there's probably some punitive damages in there as well.
Oh, sure. But it feels like the court system got it right.
Finally,
Yeah.
they did. So congratulations to Joseph Kennedy for standing up for your convictions, standing up for what you believe in. And here's the thing. He didn't push this on anybody. He did it all himself, and then people wanted to join in and do the same thing with him.
He's leading by examples.
That's exactly right. And so congratulations to the courts, congratulations to Joseph Kennedy and Bremerton and all of the above for giving him his job back, and the $1.7 million won't hurt either.
Does he want to come back?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
he does.
Yeah. He said, and his statement was, "This is a right for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're this religion or that religion or have no faith at all. Everybody has the same rights in America."
That's all we've been saying.
That's all it is.
That's all. Yes.
I'm not trying to. And here's the thing: he didn't try to make anybody else do it.
No.
But don't tell him he can't.
Right.
That's the whole point of it.
Totally agree.
So great job. That's
That's pretty good.
and great job by Tucker Family Beef. I'm telling you,
Yes.
it is off the charts. Give it a try. Visit their website, tuckerfamilybeef.com. Just buy something individual. And as soon as you do that and you eat it, you'll go, man, how do I get on that list to get like a whole beef? How do I get on that list to get a half? This stuff is good. What about a quarter? Here's the deal. You end up with a freezer full of beef for about $5 a pound. Go to the store and try to get all that at $5 a pound. Ain't happening, bro.
Nope.
Ain't happening. TuckerFamilyBeef.com is the website. They got a Facebook page at Tucker Family Beef. Give Monty a call, 580-374-5444. Thunder last night, man, for the first time in, the bubble season, I found myself at 11 o'clock at night laying in bed or kind of waking up and needing a drink of water. First thing I did, check my phone. What's the Thunder score? What's the Thunder score?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to watch oh, gosh. For the first time in forever, a Thunder game mattered. The result of a Thunder game mattered.
In late March.
On the West Coast in those, at 11:30 at night. Oklahoma City wins 101-100 over the Clippers. So now they have won the season series against the Clippers. They've got the tiebreak against the Mavericks, and they've got the tiebreak against the Minnesota Timberwolves as well. The Lakers yet to be determined on Friday, but Oklahoma City 7th out west right now. Just a loss behind the Warriors, just a loss behind the Clippers with 10 more regular season games left. Incredible. And it's finally starting. I think last night's game, because it was in L.A., because it's the Clippers, because a whole bunch of people are waiting on the Clippers to catch fire going into the playoffs and be the team everyone's thought they could be for 2 years, because it was there and because it was against them. I think all of a sudden people are turning around going, wait a minute. The Thunder? I thought they were supposed to be like in the fight for Wembanyama. What are they doing up here almost making the playoffs right now? It's like the nation went, holy cow, these guys are good.
Yeah, all the power rankings you see, they have them, if not around 15 or higher. There's a lot of respect there. And they're playing like, I don't want to say a sense of urgency, because sometimes that could be a bad thing where you're overdoing things and you're turning the ball over. But it's like they know, all right, this is one we need. And they're playing with that sense of positive urgency against last night a really good team. A shame that Paul George went down. I hope that is not a thing. I haven't seen any news on that today, but I got to continue this momentum, make this a successful road trip. Then, like we said yesterday, this could be these next now 3 games could determine their postseason fate. And last night was a big step in that positive direction and solidifying that.
Oh my gosh, yes. It was a huge win, because now you mentioned Paul George. He went down toward the end of that game, some sort of knee injury or leg injury.
I was like you. I woke up this morning and checking scores, saw Thunder won, went to Twitter, saw what was trending. I saw pray for PG, and I thought, oh no. Did he break his leg again?
It didn't look. It looked like he kind of bumped knees with Dort coming down, and then when he landed, it was awkward, and he was taken to the locker room. So I haven't seen anything yet on him. Of course, out in the West Coast, they're just kind of getting up. So that may be a little bit later in the day. But it would be hard to imagine him playing on Thursday,
right?
At least right now.
And that last shot or last possession, did he even get a shot off? Kawhi.
Okay, so that's where I'm headed next.
He looked lost, didn't he?
We saw Dort. We saw the great and the issue with Lou Dort. The issue being...
There's an issue?
Yeah, there's an issue.
In a win? What's the issue?
3 of 11, 1 for 8 from 3.
I didn't even look at the box.
3 of 11, 1 for 8 from 3.
Okay.
He didn't turn it over, so that's a positive. Scored 7 points in 38 minutes. But you also saw the reason why he's so valuable to the team. So that brings us to his nickname. You know what we know what they're calling him?
No.
You know what happened at the end of the game to Kawhi? He stepped into the torture chamber.
Oh, dear.
How awesome is that? He took a trip into the torture chamber.
Yeah, he looked flustered. Almost turned it over a couple times. I don't even know if you count that as shot there at the end. But yeah, I didn't realize that was Dort on him. That's kind of a stretch of a nickname, though.
I love it. It may not be a nickname. It may just be kind of a thing. Welcome to the torture chamber at the end of the game, Kawhi Leonard.
That's good.
That's about the 3rd or 4th time this season where the other team had the ball with a chance to win the game with a bucket, and they stepped into the torture chamber, and it didn't work out well for them.
Yeah.
So you see the value, obviously.
Yeah.
With it just, you also look forward and you're like, why is he taking 8 threes, man? You're made one of them. But anyway, that was cool. Is Jalen Williams the Rookie of the Year?
Well, he won't win it, but of course we're favoring him for what he's doing. But listen, you take him off the team, I don't know where this team would be. It wouldn't be in this position, would it? You thought that, putting Chet Holmgren on this team would get them to this level right now. But no one really, when Williams was selected, well, that's a nice pick, and, he'll contribute, but he's contributing at a really high level really, really early. He's definitely the Thunder's Rookie of the Year. And I could really see him finishing like 2 or 3 in voting.
Oh, he's finishing 2 no matter what.
Yeah.
In my mind. The question is, are people paying enough attention? This is a
No,
little
they're
bit.
not. It's
It's
a
a little
small
bit
market
like what we talked about yesterday with the MVP. We need Perk to mention this, but problem is Perk got fired yesterday.
I saw that.
we need Perk to mention. Hey, what about that Rookie of the Year, y'all?
Yeah.
Well, he's not going to be able to do that anymore. But it's like it's been such a foregone conclusion since the first month of the season because Banchero jumped out to this enormous lead in this race.
And where he was picked.
In number 1, sure.
Right. That.
But at the end of the day.
People almost sometimes crown the number 1 pick as the Rookie of the Year until
somebody beats him. And especially the way he started. And listen, he's been statistically, he's been fantastic. But what good has that done? And he's not doing it in games that matter. Jalen Williams did it last night in a game that mattered.
Yeah.
And he was phenomenal. Again. Statistically, sure. The one statistic that J-Dub, I guess, has way over Banchero is Jalen Williams shooting about 52% from the field. Banchero shooting 42.6%. Now, Banchero doesn't have a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on his team to kind of take a little bit of that off, but still. The answer is yes, Jalen Williams is the Rookie of the Year. But he's not going to win.
But he's not going to win it. No.
Did you see Chet's comments real quick?
No, what was that?
They ask him about, the team is playing great, got all these young guys. What's the obvious comparison, right? You know it's coming. Compare this Thunder to the first Thunder.
Yeah, which I've done over and over. I've dubbed him Thunder U 2.0. It feels like that. But go ahead.
And he basically said, sky's the limit. Yeah, we can do what they did. I love the confidence. I hate that he puts pressure on them to be that because it's different.
Well, I don't want them to do what they did.
Well, no.
I want them to do better.
Yeah, I know. But listen, in the next 10 years, if you get 5 or 6 trips to the Western Conference Finals, a trip to the NBA Finals, and a annual, perennial top 5 team in the NBA.
Yeah,
I'd take it.
Yeah.
You take it considering where it's been the last 2 years.
That's true. These last 2 years.
You take it and hope something just changes.
What's been very rejuvenating my faith in the Thunder and their fans was we've gone through this rebuild, and my biggest fear was we're going to not lose the team, but we're going to lose. Are the fans going to come back? Are they going to care when they're good again? I think Sunday kind of proved that. I mentioned that to Jim with the crowd. It's been the best crowd I've seen since they were really good.
Josh Giddey said it's the best crowd he's ever played in front of.
Well, he's been here for,
but he's been in the rebuild.
Sure, yes, and that's so. I'm very encouraged, and I'm with you on Chet. I mean, I'm with Chet on this one. It's the sky can be the limit because of everything that it just feels like we're doing this again. We're building this momentum with this youthful core, and what's really exciting is that very man right there, Chet Holmgren.
It's up to him.
It is up to him.
It's up to him.
And I'm excited about it.
How crazy!
What's really cool, I guess my point I'm making is in this small market, it's scary to try to willingly do a rebuild and then hope the fans stick around and come back. And they've proven that, if this franchise has to do what they just did, they can, and they can survive it even through a pandemic. Think of that, even though they were kind of good during the 2020 year. But my point is, they can survive a rebuild. It's been a quick rebuild.
That's it.
It's been a quick one.
It was only 2 years of awful.
Yes.
And the beauty of it, even in the 2 years of awful, you figured out that you had a super-duper star on your team.
Yeah.
With SGA.
Yeah, that helps. When there's,
this was the most painless return to a good that you can remember, right? This isn't the process with the Sixers and 5 or 6 years of doldrums and dudes not even playing that you draft. You don't even now the Thunder did get that. And here's what I would say about the Rookie of the Year. If I'd have told you before the season started that on March 22nd, the Thunder would be 36-36, they would be 7th in the Western Conference with a chance to actually make the playoffs. You know what you'd have said?
What would I have said?
Chet's probably the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I would have assumed that.
But it's because of his draft. You're exactly right on the capital that is gained by your draft status.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying Jalen Williams is Rookie of the Year right now because he was drafted. If the roles were reversed, and he was having the season that Jalen Williams is having right now, number-wise, and the impact that he's making, he'd be the runaway easiest choice for Rookie of the Year in a long time. But since a guy drafted 12th came in below the line, he had to dig himself out of a hole just to get to even anybody. Think about this. The last time they played the last two times they played the Clippers before last night was back in October. Jalen Williams was a DNP, did not play, coach's decision. He hadn't even earned minutes at that point. And now here he is. Incredible.
Here's a question you don't have to answer now. We can wait till the offseason. But whose production will suffer when Chet is in the lineup?
That's great. That's a great question.
Something to think about.
Speaking of questions, we'll tell the answers, but here, one last chance, 225-9698, on the text line. The two coaches to take 3 teams to the Final Four, and which team has never won an NCAA tournament game? I have an idea of perfection. The perfect swing of the club or bat, the perfect form on the free throw line, that perfectly placed spiral football, and especially those perfect grill marks on a high-quality cut of locally sourced prime beef. It takes lots of time to perfect quality, but a quick, simple call or message to Tucker Family Beef can put locally born, raised, fed, and processed beef in your family's freezer so you can practice and perfect those satisfying grill marks. Give Monty Tucker a call at Tucker Family Beef, 580-515-4477.
The Skinny on Sports.
It's always about that time of year where I watch Caddyshack. Always about Masters time of the year. I get that. Man, it's time for me to watch Caddyshack. Just like I watched Hoosiers before the NCAA tournament. I usually watch Major League sometime around July when I'm bored.
Okay, so the question on everybody's mind this morning that I asked at the first of the show.
I wrote down my answers.
There are 2 coaches in NCAA history that have taken 3 teams to the Final Four, and there's 1 school that's never won an NCAA tournament game. What you got, Jared?
Okay, because I looked him up to see his coaching history yesterday.
This is why I asked the question, because one of these guys was in the news yesterday.
Rick Pitino.
Rick
Pitino's one.
And he actually mentioned the other guy's name, saying he wanted to get him off his resume.
It's not Donovan, who's coached with – not Donovan. Is it Calipari?
John Calipari.
That's funny.
John Calipari took UMass and Marcus Camby way back in the day. Then Memphis with Derrick Rose, and then, of course, Kentucky. Rick Pitino, speaking of Billy Donovan, was on Rick Pitino's first Final Four team back at Providence.
That's why I was connected.
And then he had Kentucky, and then obviously you had Louisville as well. So those 2 have taken 3 teams, 3 different schools to the Final Four. We had Lon Kruger as a guest. He's got 2.
Yeah, Kruger.
Roy Williams was another guest. He's got 2.
Kruger, they've taken a lot of teams.
Tubby Smith was a guest also.
To the NCAA tournament, right?
Pitino, Kruger, maybe Eddie were the only ones that take 5 different schools to the tournament.
So you would think, well, they can get at least.
Oh, and what's his name? Steve Alford was this year too. Yeah. So there's a few of those, but as far as the Final Four, the two guys is Pitino and Calipari. Now, what is the only school that's never won an NCAA tournament game?
I know this one because I had to think about it. It's Nebraska.
It is Nebraska. Sam got it right. Nebraska is the answer. Well, the reason why that jogged my memory is because when Pitino, reading some stuff about him, St. John's has one of the longest active winless streaks in the tournament. It was St. John's, it was Georgia, and I couldn't find it. It was somebody else, and then of course Nebraska's never won one. But I can't remember the four longest streaks dating back to like 2004 and back.
Wasn't Northwestern on that list?
I don't think Northwestern had ever won one.
Had ever been there.
Until the last couple of years.
And then I know they won this year.
And they won this year, but until the last
game. Was that the first time they've won a game? Or I know there's they've never made the tournament. They finally got in like a couple years ago. They got in again this year. But my question was, did they win when they first got in? I don't know. But I know they won this year, so they are obviously off that.
Yeah, 2017 was the first time. But they'd won before this year. They're 2-2 now in the tournament.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Yeah, that was a big deal back then. They'd never even made it.
Right.
Nebraska's made it, but they never won. The ratings are awesome, and I can't wait to see if that holds up. Ratings up 2% year over year from last year. So the first round, Thursday, Friday, Windows averaged actually the first weekend, I'm sorry. For the Windows, they averaged 9.2 million, which is the highest ever. The first round on Thursday was up 2%, but that's the highest ever for the first 4 days. Which game do you think had the best rating? Just individual game of the first two rounds.
Kansas, Arkansas.
Nope.
I will be here forever. Go ahead.
Michigan State, Marquette.
Interesting.
10.9 million.
I just went with the blue blood and the crazy Arkansas fans. I figured.
But that was but it was Saturday.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like Friday, so it was Sunday. Marquette, Michigan State was Sunday, and it was kind of mid-afternoon Sunday, maybe when it's lazy time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense. The teams don't necessarily, but the timing of it, I guess, does.
See that?
All right, now I'm going to give everybody homework if they want to participate. You've already done this, I've already done this, but we'll let our listeners do it as well, and then they can tell us what they think tomorrow.
Well, if you're allowing me, then you're giving me another 23 hours here, then I might make some changes because
okay.
I did this in like 5 minutes.
I did. I thought of it at the very end, right before I emailed you the points for the show. So I want everybody to rank the 16 teams left from 1 to 16. Not necessarily who you think's going to win a certain game or who do you have in your bracket. Rank them. If you were the AP writer and you had a top 16 with who all is left, rank them in order. Text us tomorrow. We'll talk about it. We've already kind of got our list made, but I could certainly move some around as well. So 225-9698. Rank the 16 teams left. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Also look forward to the matchups tomorrow. Sweet 16 gets going. Thunder, Clippers, round 2. What else? All kinds of stuff. Do you care about the match play tournament in golf?
Maybe on a Sunday afternoon where I'm bored. I don't know.
Thank you to Tucker Family Beef for the Beefs of the Week. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cout. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is blistered to right. Way back. Goodbye.
I have an idea of perfection. The perfect swing of the club or bat, the perfect form on the free throw line, that perfectly placed spiral football, and especially those perfect grill marks on a high-quality cut of locally sourced prime beef. It takes lots of time to perfect quality, but a quick, simple call or message to Tucker Family Beef can put locally born, raised, fed, and processed beef in your family's freezer so you can practice and perfect those satisfying grill marks. Give Monty Tucker a call at Tucker Family Beef, 580-515-4477.